when I'm puffing on a potent, silent, but I stay strapped. Gave her wood, now she talking about family tree. You know it ain't that. Ain't got time for the bad bees, dog. I got money on mine. Watch my chain too long, have me nervous. I put money on your mind. The Cali be potent, that girl is a bogus. I can't risk my seed. My heart too low, took L's like fug. Big slime soon free. Had to drop cause the fans they keep asking. You drop trash, had the fans all laughing. Disappeared and I
Hey, what's up people? So we are back again. I feel quite disheartened because this bad boy, turns out that there's some kind of fault. I believe that I wouldn't even call it a manufacturing fault. Maybe it's something to do with the store testing, because like I said, I saw this in the box, which is kind of frustrating because basically I know what's wrong with the gun now. Like, I kind of took the gun apart just to have a rough look, just to see. And basically what happened is the nozzle, so the nozzle would sit somewhere roughly about here. That's what would send the pressure through. This charging handle is connected to the gearbox. Well, in theory it's connected to the gearbox because there's a knob thing that moves every time the spring moves, and that's what allows this blowback function to work, right? Now, for all of that function to work, so for the spring to go back and that this charging handle to move, you need there's a rotary, how do I explain it? You have an air nozzle. So there's a nozzle that moves back and forward that produces that air to allow everything like what I just listed to take place. That nozzle has teeth on the bottom of it. And I wouldn't even call it nozzle, it's more like a cylinder. It's an air cylinder, that's the name for it. It has teeth at the bottom that connect with the gear, but at the back teeth is plastic. It looks like what's happened, and it doesn't make any sense to me because I've only cycled maybe about 20 rounds through this gun and I've used 110% their recommendation, so I'm very confused what's gone wrong here. Like, I reckon what's happened is they've done this test or whatever in the shop or the store or whatever where I bought this from, and they haven't realized that internally in the gearbox there is damage. So they've sold it because aesthetically it looks alright. It maybe when they tested it sounded fine, but there's basically wear on the air cylinder, and because of the wear it means that every time the gear spins, what it's done is basically created a gap where it should be connecting with the teeth so that that air cylinder moves forward and makes this function here work. So I don't even know how to feel about this because I was actually so excited to get my new gun, but after it's probably taken me what, 2 hours, a whole 2 bloody hours just to figure out what's wrong, because I had to just check everything over just to make sure it wasn't an electric fault, make sure it wasn't this, and make sure it wasn't that, make sure that wasn't clashing with that, but it's nothing to do with that. It literally is the cylinder needs replacing. And I know some of my friends are gonna say to me, why don't you just buy a new cylinder? It's a brand new gun. You see, if I had this for, I don't know, a month or 2 and the gun broke, then cool, I would invest. I would genuinely invest. But I just feel like, how do I get the gun and I'm only able to shoot 20 rounds through it? And the weird thing for me is like, this is the first gun I've ever experienced that with. Even the cheap ass companies, I've never had that kind of problem. Like, do you gonna get what I'm saying? Even if the gun doesn't shoot great, it shoots. You know what I'm saying? And when I say even I got 20 rounds, I'm just guessing. Like, maybe I got 5 rounds and I'm just excited because the gun was on auto. Do you know what I'm trying to say? But yeah, like, if you know, so I'm just gonna put it back together. I've sent a message to the supplier that I got it from, so fingers crossed they can get back to me soon. A little part of me does want to keep it and just replace that cylinder, but a little part of me is also like, why? Like, if like I said, if I broke the gun or done something to break the gun, then I would sit here and be like, alright, fair. You kind of get what I'm trying to say? I would do it, but for me, I can't really. I can't bring myself to do that, because it would be like I've bought a brand new gun and I'm still having to spend money to fix it, but it's meant to be brand new. If I had that for a month and it broke and done that, then cool, innit? But nah, man, that's not fine. If I, like, hopefully these people, you know, I should call them, you know, because I've got the order note here, so I think I'm gonna try and call them and see if I have any luck, because this isn't fine. Like, this is genuinely not fine. But hopefully I get through to somebody, and hopefully they're friendly and understanding, because bro, I was so excited to kind of like, even to take this out to the site. I can't take it nowhere because the gun won't fire properly. So yeah, it's a shame. I'm just gonna try and call them now. That's that. Hopefully they send me a fixed version so I can actually do a proper test for you guys. Bloody rails. So if I want to chuck a scope, boom, I'm good. If I want to chuck this like another grip, I can. If I want to chuck a laser on it, I can. Do you get what I'm saying? This version of it gives you options that you can buy outer rails, but it's like they're so expensive. Like, you know what I'm saying? But without further ado, like I said, you get your little grip. What else comes in the box? You get this thing called the catalog. I haven't had a chance to open it, so maybe we'll do it together, guys. Because I'm like, if this is the catalog for the whole SPECNA Arms editions, yeah. But I don't know. Like I said, it's the first time opening it. Okay. It does look like what I just said. Okay. So it looks like one side of it. That does look pretty cool though. Look at that. Look at that. I do like that though. Can you guys see what I'm seeing? I do like that though. I might put this up in my room, you know. Your way of airsoft. I love it. I might put this up, you know. His banner looks nice. I do like that. Even the little extended battery area like that, that's pretty nice. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, boom, that's what's on that side. And then it looks like, yeah, boom, it looks like they've got their whole range of guns. Most companies do something similar to this. I'm sure I've shown you guys other videos where people do this. Like, they look pretty good, I'm not gonna lie to you. But what I'll probably do is run this gun for maybe like 9 months, see how I get on, and then we'll see. Because I would really like to buy a gas blowback, but I just feel like gas blowbacks are way too expensive. You know what I'm saying? So I might end up building something, finding a body I like maybe buy an M4 body from SPECNA Arms, like even something small like this carbine here, small and effective, and just put like a longer barrel on it. Look at how tiny that is. That's what he was asking me to do. Create like a long, like a normal standard M4, short ass outer, and then, well, my barrel would have been about out here. So, but yeah, that's nice. I like this. And even the fact that it's like a poster. Even if you don't want to look at the catalog, you have the option of like, boom, like, let me stick up the poster, which I probably will do, to be fair, because you know when you just want to create a nice little aesthetic in your space, like, rah, I'm an airsofter, let me have the airsofter aesthetic in my space. What is going on with this? It's like it does not want to close now. It's like I can't remember how I opened it. My thing's that thing. Okay, there we are. So that's that. You can get rid of that as well. But yeah, what else to say? Obviously we got the gun. Now straight off top, do you know what, before we get into the gun, something cool I want to show you guys. Remember I said to you this has an electric trigger, so it basically has like a information guide thing that shows you how it works. Obviously the name of the company, the name of the gun, AR-36, which now, like, if you say it in that format, it's not too bad, but is it really an AR? Maybe it is and I'm getting something wrong, but y'all can let me know. Shows you how to activate programming, semi toggle function switch, set auto to toggle option. Like, we'll go through that at some point, because I will program this, because it does, where is it, man? There's a couple things it does. safe, semi, auto, safe, binary. Do you know what binary I wanted to set on this? Just because in a gameplay, it's like, you guys know what binary is, so I'm not gonna say too much. But safe, binary, auto, so that's function 2, safe, semi, which I found very interesting because it means that if I wanted to turn this into a DMR, just by programming my trigger, I'd be able to take this to a site and pass chrono. I found that so interesting because for the price I paid for this gun, that's very interesting. Because most got, like, trust me, even one of my boys, like, he has a version of this, but he had to install like a little block that stops the what's it called, the selector. The problem is some sites won't allow that, because if you knock that block hard enough, it will come off because it's not attached to the aesthetic of the gun. It's almost like just like glued on type thing. So I found that very interesting because, yeah, some could say, oh, you can reprogram the gun, but it's such a nightmare to reprogram that in a game you wouldn't want to do that. you'd lose the whole game just trying to reprogram the gun. It just wouldn't make sense. So it's nice because then when you go to chrono, your gun operates in the way they want it to. Even when you switch it to semi or auto, it still does semi. So I found that interesting. Then there's another one, safe, semi, burst, which another one was very interesting. That shows me you could make the gearbox operate faster, which I think I would either have it set to safe, binary, auto, or that function there, safe, semi, burst. Then they've got all the, well, to be honest, there's a long list of settings. Like it would be a long thing to go through everything, but there's a long list of settings that you can, like, options of how you want to set the gun basically. I think for the moment I'm gonna just leave it standard because I feel like it would be nice to run, I don't know, maybe about 5k rounds through it without doing anything, because then I can kind of get a feel for the gun, get some experience with the gun, get an understanding if there's anything I want to change, zero in the scope, see if my grip works nicely on this or I need to change the grip. Yeah, I'm saying stuff like that basically. So we will leave this to one side for the second, but I just found that very interesting because for the price, an electric trigger in this gun, like, it, for me, it just made me, how would I explain it, like, it just made me happy. Like, yeah, I think that's the best way to put it. It just made me happy because this is what I wanted last year, and if you notice, we're at the place we were talking about when we first started the channel. So yeah, sorry about that. My airsoft shop guy, my shop, like, I have a shop that I'm like, it's basically my eye in Dartford. I think they're called the Combat Store. Don't quote me on that, but I believe they're called the Combat Store. He's just messaging me because I gave him 2 of my Glock mags to fix. Because have I shown you guys the new setup? I'm sure I've shown you the new setup of how the Glocks look currently. But yeah, the mags were broken, so he basically just messaged me and said, like, look, I've fixed them, they're ready, yeah, come get them when you're ready type thing. The problem is, let me message him quick because I want to know how much do they cost. Give me 2 seconds, guys. The bad thing is I don't really want to test the guns today, man. I need to get to Earth, so I might say to him I'm going to come through tomorrow and test the guns. Because I'm going to go see my guys, spend some time with him. I wanted to show him then. Yeah, I don't think I will test the guns today. I'll just say to him I'll come through tomorrow because I'd like at least half an hour to just run the GNG, maybe like 2k rounds through that. Run this maybe 3-4k rounds through it, and then yeah, I'm good. Take them home. I will know by then what I want to do to them. But yeah, so boom, let's get back into the gun itself. So one thing I would say, because like I said, I did kind of put it on my arm, under my arm, and set it and close the stock a couple times and just, you know what I'm saying, try and get used to the gun, get a feel for the gun. One thing I would say is, like, the back stock compared to the ASG version, this one just feels a bit more straighter, which means that it doesn't hug the shoulder / arm as well as the other one does, because the other one has more of a curve. So that was one thing where I was like, oh, they lost us there. But you could just swap them out. Do you kind of get what I'm saying? And I think over time, what it might have been is they wore that down because obviously it was a pre-owned gun I bought. Do you know what I'm saying? Whereas this is brand new, so I'm thinking, oh, maybe what it might be is I just need to wear this one down, basically. So we'll see how that goes. I'll let you guys know. But straight off the top, it does feel like some kind of rubber that can be worn over time, but it feels strong, like it feels like it would last. The frame, most of it is polymer. The one thing I would say is, I'm not sure if I'm wrong, but it doesn't feel like the strongest in the world polymer. I feel like if I was to, with all my brute force, smash this gun against the wall, yeah, I could do some serious damage to it. But at the same time, in saying that, I feel like if I dropped it by accident or something, it would survive. It would wear and tear, but it feels strong enough that it would survive. But I don't feel like you should drop this gun. You know what I'm saying? I feel like this is similar to my G&Gs. Like, look after these guns, because even like another thing I've just clocked is this on the ASG, which is the top rail, is metal. On here is polymer, which ain't a bad thing, but you obviously have wear and tear on these rails over time, more so just where it's polymer, whereas on the other one it's actual metal. But you can swap them out, so that's actually another good point to make. These guns are interchangeable. Like I said, you obviously got the rails. You go at the 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock and 9 o'clock positions, just to show you guys. They can be purchased if you do have another variant of this gun, so don't worry. You have like a bolt that runs directly through here, through to the other side. And what that bolt does, I don't know if you guys can see that bolt right here, runs through to from that side, from this side to the other side. What that does is it houses the connection to your battery. So if you push that through, and it was a bit stiff, I think I will grease this at some point and pull, well, it has to be all the way out, and pull out. What happens is that will come off. That's obviously where your battery gets housed. That goes back over, and then obviously that bolt goes right back in, and then you're good to go. I don't really want to go too heavily today into breaking that. Let's take out the outer barrel, let's do that. Nah, like, I wanted to more show you guys around the gun, cause I just feel like aesthetically, even the weight of the gun is quite a light gun, and for the price, like I said, and you get a Gen 3 gearbox, and it genuinely has real recoil. I'm actually gonna grab a battery in a second, just to show you like the recoil on this thing is real. Like earlier I shot it, I was like, oh, let me try and run maybe like 50 rounds through it quickly. I don't want to do too much where it's brand new and I want to open the gun properly and go through it properly with the channel, but I just wanted to run 50 rounds just to see if like that electric blowback thing was real. Like the recoil on this thing is what, I'm never gonna say too much, you guys will see it is a real thing. Like even as I was aiming, you could see the variance in the shots where the recoil was affecting me. So I was like, rah, like this is gonna be fun. And the good thing is obviously you've got things like the fold-in stock similar to the other variants, so if you wanted to really go through on SMG mode, you really can do that. And it's light. Look, one thing I will say about this is it's much lighter than the other G36, the ASG version. I feel like I would top corners with this. Even look, I'm in one arm and I can move this with ease. So yeah, it does have a little weight to it, I will say that. It has a metal gearbox, metal motor, like it does have metal parts, like even your outer barrel metal, the frame that holds it metal, your spring, your outer what's it called, flash hider, like it's metal. You know what I'm saying? Even these little things metal, your sights metal. Well, no, the front sight is polymer, the back sight is polymer, but the mid section of the sight is metal. You know what I'm saying? What's that? That's metal as well. Polymer, rubber. Your selector switch isn't metal, this is polymer. On the other variant, it's metal. So do you get what I'm trying to say? It's like certain things you can see with this variant, you have to be a bit more careful, but Yeah, man, it's pretty cool. And one thing I did find interesting is it has like a spring release function right underneath here, which I'll show you guys later, because I just think they built this gun so smart. It reminds me so much of the GNG, where it's like they gave you so much for a cheap price. There is a couple L's you have to take, for example, like the polymer frame, and most of it is polymer, but it's still a really good build. Just like most G36s, if not all, to see your chamber. And the one thing I did like about this one is, unlike the ASG, this allows you to pull your chamber all the way open. On the G36, the chamber only opens to about here, which is just such a shame, because it's like I can't really do much with there, whereas here I can see if that's too dirty or greasy, I could give it a quick clean, or I can see if inside of there is dusty and needs a clean. I could even do it without taking the gun apart. So I found that interesting. I have more access to my hop up. I can see if a BB is stuck, because earlier what I had was I was using a low battery, it wasn't charged. So what, okay, no, ignore me. I thought you could see the BBs running through the mag. I would have been like, that was really cool, but it isn't. Obviously it has a Gen 3 gearbox, which is another good thing. Like, Gen 3 gearbox, for the price you pay for this thing, you have the ability to see all the way through to your pop chamber, so you could even change it at the top. You can see the piston, the bolt that holds your barrel in place. I believe that's how you partly take all of that stuff out, but I'll probably do a video where I take this all the way down and show you guys around it. And obviously it's ambidextrous charging handle. Probably give that a little grease up. Where's polymer? It's got a metal bar going through it, but where's polymer? It probably will get stuck a bit more than the metal version. Most of the gun is polymer, but I think stuff like even the charging handle would be interchangeable. This silver stuff is not metal, don't be fooled, that's also polymer. But again, who's to say that that's not interchangeable? Because like I said, most of these G36 parts, the variants will work in each other as long as you get the right framework, because there's different scales of the weapon, for example. But I found that, yeah, like I said, if you use the right scales parts, you'll be fine. So I think even me, over time, I probably will change this to metal. My charging handle as well, probably to metal. This top frame as well, maybe to metal. Everything else I'll probably leave polymer. Maybe my switch, but even the switch is kind of cool being polymer, as long as it doesn't break. Yeah. So far so good. It doesn't have a flat trigger, which I would have loved, but I think with guns like this, it's better to have the thick ass trigger like it has. I think I probably will upgrade that over time, but this gun I'll probably use it for a year before I do anything to it, if you get what I mean. Like I said, maybe 9 months to a year. Mag slots in, if you notice how easy that was. Slotted in, no dramas. It's so comfortable. Release is very easy as well. Like you just see, insert and it goes in straight away, first time, every time as well. Therefore gonna have to check for some mid caps. They seem to come in about somewhere around £14, give or take. I don't know what else to say about it. Like, one thing I will say is FPS, I think it came in roughly about 320-ish. 315, 320-ish, which is a bit lower than, no, that's actually a lie. The other one shoots at 282, 292. No, I tell a lie, there's a variant that shoots at 330.
Past actions, ish I had to do. If we unified, we overcome slavery. Many think it, I just say it, call it bravery. Young, progressive and black, you know they hate to see independent. I don't care what labels could pay a G. So much leng past my lung. Private company feeding us GMO foods, they wanting us trapped. My young boy just came home for a booting, that young nigga tapped. Can't be slipping when I'm puffing on a potent, silent but I stay strapped. Gave her wood, now she talking about family tree, you know it ain't that. Ain't got time for the bad bees, dog. I got money on mine. Watch my chain too long, had me nervous. I put money on your mind. The Cali be potent, that girl is a bogus. I can't risk my seed. My heart too low, took L's like fug. Big slime soon free. Had to drop cause the fans they keep asking. You drop trash, had the fans all laughing. Disappeared and I